Hello everyone, God Jesus Christ bless you. So this video is about not judging after the appearance. Judge not after the appearance. And Jesus Christ spoke in John 7:24, judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. So this video we're going to talk about judging after the appearance, and we're going to talk about the consequences of doing so. So please watch the whole video. Thank you. God Jesus Christ bless you, and enjoy it. Okay, Jesus Christ doesn't judge or reprove after the appearance. So in Isaiah 11, chapter 11, verses 1 through 3, and there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of its roots. And the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord. And shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of the Lord, and he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. So after Saul was rejected as king, the Lord had sent Samuel, and so we're going to learn about that, and we're going to see that Samuel was taught not to judge after the appearance. So we're going to look at 1 Samuel chapter 16, verses 1 through 7. And the Lord said to Samuel, how long wilt thou mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Israel? Fill thine horn with oil, and go. I will send thee to Jesse the Bethlehemite, for I have provided me a king among his sons. And Samuel said, how can I go? If Saul hear it, he will kill me. And the Lord said, take an heifer with thee, and say, I am come to sacrifice to the Lord. And call Jesse to the sacrifice, and I will show thee what thou shalt do. And thou shalt anoint unto him whom I name unto thee. And Samuel did that which the Lord spake, and came to Bethlehem. And the elders of the town trembled at his coming, and said, comest thou peaceably? And he said, peaceably. I am come to sacrifice unto the Lord. Sanctify yourselves, and come with me to the sacrifice. And he sanctified Jesse and his sons, and called them to the sacrifice. And it came to pass, when they were come, that he looked on Eliab, and said, surely the Lord's anointed is before him. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance, or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as men seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. So we can see that the Lord judges according to the heart and not the appearance. And he was instructing Samuel not to do so too. So it's really, really, really important to know that the appearance is not enough to make a judgment. Okay, take a look at Matthew chapter 5, verse 28. But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her, hath committed adultery with her already in his heart. This is really important to understand, guys. Looking at someone is not equal to lusting after someone. If it was, everyone would be guilty. That is why appearance judgments can be very poor. We've all looked at something, even just something that somebody was doing, or whatever the case may be. So it's not enough. You don't know what's in their heart. So it's important not to judge after the appearance, guys. Okay, so now we're going to start talking about the consequences of poor appearance judgments. Okay, so this is our first biblical example of poor appearance judgments. All right, so this is regarding 4 lepers that exit the city to surrender. All right, and it is in 2 Kings chapter 7, verses 3 through 7. And there were 4 leprous men at the entering in of the gate, and they said one to another, why sit we here until we die? If we say we will enter into the city, then the famine is in the city, and we shall die there. And if we sit still here, we die also. Now therefore come and let us fall unto the host of the Syrians. So basically surrender, guys. If they save us alive, we shall live. And if they kill us, we shall but die. So basically their logic was, well, if we stay here, we're going to die. If we go to the Assyrians, at least we have a chance. Okay, and they rose up in the twilight to go unto the camp of the Syrians. And when they were come to the uttermost part of the camp of Syria, behold, there was no man there. For the Lord had made the host of the Syrians to hear a noise of chariots and a noise of horses, even the noise of a great host. And they said one to another, Lo, the king of Israel has hired against us the king of the Hittites and the kings of the Egyptians to come upon us. Wherefore they arose and fled in the twilight, and left their tents and horses and their asses, even the camp as it was, and fled for their life. So in this particular case, the appearance judgment was as they heard a noise, and they presumed that that meant that there was a massive army coming, and they were afraid and they left. Actually, that's all God and Jesus Christ had to do, is use one sound, one noise. The noise of a host that wasn't even there. And that's all it took. They judged after the appearance. They judged after what they heard. And there were consequences. They lost everything that they had brought. Alright, now this one's kind of funny. This is the second biblical example of poor appearance judgments. And this is about Joshua making a league with the inhabitants of the land. So this is after the Israelites had been in the wilderness for 40 years. And it starts at Joshua chapter 9, verse 3, and goes to verse 15. So, and when the inhabitants of Gibeon heard what Joshua had done unto Jericho and Ai, they did work wilily, and went and made as if they had been ambassadors, and took old sacks upon their asses, and wine bottles, old and rent and bound up, and old shoes, and clouded upon their feet, and old garments upon them, and all the bread of their provision was dry and moldy. And they went to Joshua unto the camp at Gilgal, and said unto them and to the men of Israel, We be come from a far country. Now therefore make you a league with us. And this is where it kind of gets really funny. And the men of Israel said unto the Hivites, Peradventure you dwell among us, and how shall we make a league with you? So the men of Israel were like, oh man, this is a show. These guys have just put on these old garments. They've got this old moldy bread. They want to make it look like they're from this far country that they're claiming it to be from. But, we don't know. Maybe you could be from among us. You just might be trying to trick us. So let's continue on with verse 8. And they said to Joshua, We are thy servants. And Joshua said unto them, Who are you, and from whence come you? And they said unto him, From a very far country thy servants are come, because of the name of the Lord thy God. For we have heard the fame of him, and all that he did in Egypt, and all that he did to the two kings of the Amorites that were beyond Jordan, and Sihon, king of Heshbon, and to Og, the king of Bashan, which are at Ashtaroth. Wherefore our elders and all the inhabitants of our country spake to us, saying, Take victuals with you for the journey, and go to meet them, and say unto them, We are your servants. Therefore now make ye a league with us. This our bread we took hot for our provision out of our houses on the day that we came forth to go unto you, but now it is dry, and it is moldy. And then bottles of wine which we filled were new, and behold, they be rent, and these our garments have become old by reason of the very long journey. And the men took of their victuals, and asked not at the mouth of the Lord, asked not counsel at the mouth of the Lord. And Joshua made peace with them, and made a league with them, to let them live, and the princes of the people unto them. So, in this particular case, they made it look like they were from a far country. Oh, we're going to put on these old clothes. We're going to go ahead and have some moldy bread, and we're going to act like we're from afar. In actuality, they were not far at all. They were actually neighbors. So again, it might look like something, but it's not something. Old clothes, moldy bread, rent bottles don't translate to they're coming from a far, long journey. But as you can see, Israel got ensnared by these people because now they have to let them live. And if they're not going to worship the Lord God, then they will worship their idols and try to get the Israelites to worship idols. So it could easily become a major snare for them. So the third biblical example of poor appearance judgments. This is the most profound. This one, it'll really probably melt your heart. You see, this is about Jesus Christ being rejected at a village of the Samaritans. And this is Luke chapter 9, verses 51 through 53. And it came to pass, when the time was come that he should be received up, he steadfastly set his face to go to Jerusalem, and sent messengers before his face. And they went and entered into a village of the Samaritans to make ready for him. And they did not receive him, because his face was as though he would go to Jerusalem. So, again, all it took was Jesus Christ not facing that village of the Samaritans for them not to want him to come into their village. I mean, for all we know, for all they could have known, this could have been the point when Jesus Christ said, "Oh, Jerusalem which stones all the prophets, and all their sent unto you." We just don't know. And in this particular case, the thing is he sent his disciples into the village to get them ready to receive him. That was the fact. But they rejected it just because Jesus Christ simply wasn't looking at their village at the time. He was looking away. He was looking towards Jerusalem. So this can just show just how poor appearance judgments could have massive ramification, massive consequences. All right, so in conclusion, prove all things. As stated in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 21, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. And understand that if you can't prove something, like in the case with the Hivites claiming that they're from a faraway country, the wiser thing would have been to go ahead and say, okay, well, I'll send some men with you to go to your country first to confirm that they are indeed from a far country. Again, if you can't prove it, if it can't be confirmed, then it's important to seek the Lord. Don't do anything. Just pray about it and ask God and Jesus Christ to guide you. Okay, guys, that's it for this video, this message. All praise, glory, and honor to God and Jesus Christ, and thank you, and God and Jesus Christ bless you.